This is a Friday the 13th Jason ranking video. I hope you enjoy. There are currently 9 playable Jasons in this game, some of which are proven to be much better and have much better strengths and worse weaknesses than others. This video will provide you with an updated take on which Jasons currently are downright dominant and which Jasons, in my opinion, are an easy escape. Now keep in mind this is just my opinion. I do also believe that each Jason can be played extremely well depending on how you play the game itself. This will be taken from the perspective mainly of the counsellor, as you often get counsellor, so when you spawn in as a counsellor you can identify the Jason and be like, okay, I need to be panicked, or okay, I have a little bit of time before he starts getting way too aggressive. Alright, without further ado, let's get into the official ranking. Coming in at the bottom spot on this list, a lot of people will probably agree on this, it's general consensus most of the time, is Part 7 Jason. Now, Part 7 Jason is just, in a word to describe him, very slow. Very bad at movement, nothing really screams extraordinary about him, which kind of holds him back against high-level lobbies. His weaknesses include he cannot run, making him slow straight off the bat. I do prefer a running Jason, and I think it's more beneficial in this game. With so many finesses and bugsies around, you kind of need, in my opinion, the running capabilities of one of those Jasons. He also has minus traps, which is just a horrible, horrible weakness, so that we need at least 5 traps in order to play as well as a Jason. Otherwise, people are just going to get over the top of you. Another weakness that this guy has is stun resistance. This is actually a nothing weakness in my opinion. Stun resistance does not mean a whole lot. Just means when you get hit, you're going to be out for a little bit longer. You only really feel it when you get hit by a shotgun. Not that big a deal in my opinion. Strengths, sense, that's kind of a nothing strength in my opinion. You don't really need an extra sense. It's okay, but you still are going to be able to find people quite easily. Water speed, once again, it's kind of a nothing strength. Like, how many people escape on the boats? Exactly, like maybe 1 in 30 games I play, there's actually someone who attempts the boat. Like, it's really not that big a deal. And then finally, weapon strength. It is nice to have it. It's probably his best strength, but at the same time, it doesn't add a whole lot to his gameplay. He's still kind of slow. It doesn't really add anything at all. So in my opinion, just because of the fact that he's so slow, he doesn't have enough traps, he's easily overridden by smart counsellors, and not even smart counsellors, he can be outrun pretty much the entire game. You could be chasing around someone like a Bugsy around a table for about a good solid 3-4 minutes into a game. He's really hard to play as in my opinion, and it's general consensus that he is the worst Jason currently in this game. Now, coming in at the number 8 spot on this list is Part 9 Jason. Part 9 Jason has similar, in my opinion, weaknesses to Part 7, and in fact he cannot run, once again, being a lot slower than running Jasons, which it's going to be a struggle to catch up to counsellors with high speed and stamina. He also has less traps, once again, meaning that if characters are really determined to finish the objectives, call the police, start the car, they are going to do that because you only have 3 traps, you can't stop them. And his final weakness, which is another horrible one, is less hit points. This means this Jason has overall less health than all the other Jasons. So this means that if you hit him a couple of times, his mask's going to pop off, meaning he's an easier Jason to kill. He's probably the easiest Jason to kill in the game because of his less hit points. It's a horrible weakness to have. His strengths, on the other hand, I think do make him more playable than Part 7. Like, he's much easier to move. He has fast shift. This is the thing that saves this Jason, in my opinion, because of his shift. It's so fast. You can easily catch up and sneak up to counsellors without them. They know, but they know They know, and then it's too late. They're gone. They're grabbed. They're dead. So I think that this Jason can have a sense of lethality to him. It's just you've got to be very good at shifting. He also has good stalk, which is another. It's a good one to have. I think it's an underrated ability, but it's not going to overall increase your playstyle too drastically. His other strength is stun resistance. Horrible strength. Would not want that, but you can have it. It's fine. But overall, I think he's a bad Jason to play as. Like, you can surely get dominated by him, but I think overall it's an easy escape, and you could possibly kill him, which is never good for a Jason. So this is why this Jason is ranked number 8 on this list. Coming in at the number 7 spot on this list is Powerful Jason. Part 4 Jason, in my opinion, is extremely overrated. People really look at his stats, his strengths, and figure, oh yeah, he's a great Jason, but in reality, when he goes up against an experienced lobby with high-level players that are eager to escape and live, he really struggles. And this is once again because he has 3 traps. 3 traps really comes to bite you in the bum. I hate to say it. Having 3 traps is just lined up for failure, in my opinion. If you have more than half the lobby eager to escape, they will escape because you cannot trap everything. He also has bad shift, meaning it's going to be harder to sneak up and grab somebody, giving them plenty of time to avoid your grab. And also the fact that it has low shift, had an average morph, trapping things and then going to attack people at the same time is very, very hard. You may as well just give up trapping and give up setting up a defense because you're not going to be able to stop anyone from escaping regardless. You have to kill them immediately. His other weakness is water speed. It doesn't impact you if there's no boat, but if there is a boat, you best be hoping that they do not get that thing fixed because you cannot catch them for anything. You are incredibly, incredibly slow. That's pretty much one thing you have to keep an eye out at all times if there's a boat on the map. But once again, not a big issue. Boats rarely are taken, so you could get off with 3 traps if there is a boat on this map. His strengths are weapon strength, which is okay. You're going to kill people with 1 more hit compared to other Jasons. He has destruction. Destruction is a really good ability to have at the start of the game. You can apply a lot of pressure to counselors, make them do silly things that they wouldn't usually do because they're so panicked and on the spot. And he also has running. He can run. This is also good for applying pressure. But pretty much part 4 is an offensive Jason. It doesn't suit my game style. It doesn't suit a lot of people's game style, I think. You need to go purely for offense if you're this Jason. Forget trapping things. Forget defending the objectives. You need to kill people as fast and as quickly as possible. Otherwise, they will escape. And this is a bad thing if you're this Jason. This is why he's ranked so low, is he has no defensive capabilities. It's all about offense. If you like this game style, sure, you can dominate. If it suits your playstyle, bang, you've got a winner as a Jason. If it doesn't, if you like the extra traps, if you like the defense, pick a different Jason. He's not the Jason for you. Coming in at the number 6 spot on this list is Part 6 Jason. Now this Jason has a lot going for it. In fact, I think it is, up at this point, the next Jasons are actually, in my opinion, pretty difficult to come across if you're a counselor, and they're a pretty good option if you're playing as Jason. Now Part 6 has, in my opinion, some pretty good, actually some really good strengths, and has a couple of bad weaknesses, but are overall not damning as for if you want to play as him. Now his weaknesses include he has minus defense. Now minus defense just means any hits that you receive as Jason will do a little bit more damage, meaning the mask could come off a little bit more easily. However, it is not as bad as having less hit points, which Part 9 Jason has. Another weakness he has is he can't run. Once again, it's not very good if you're trying to chase down a Vanessa or a Bugsy or someone with a lot of stamina. But however, he does have strengths that do handle the situation quite nicely. Another weakness he has, which I think is his worst, is minus morph. Now minus morph means that your morph regeneration ability is going to be a lot slower. And this is not horrible, but it is in emergency situations. If you hear the boat going off, or if you hear the car about to start, or if you hear someone who's just tripped one of your traps, you will have to wait ages for your morph ability to come back. And by the time it gets back, guess what? They're so far ahead in the boat or in the car that they've almost escaped. Or guess what? The phone box has just been repaired because your morph has been so slow. Because of this, it's not a very good ability to have a weakness of. His strengths, however, include increased sense, which is a pretty bad strength in my opinion. Increased sense really does not do a whole lot. You're still going to find counselors very easily. Another strength he has, which I think is really good, is shift. A faster shift is always a good thing. You can easily catch up to counselors. Running characters such as Bugsy and Vanessa are going to be a lot easier to catch up to. This combats well with throwing knives. You can throw a throwing knife. He spawns with extra 6, I think, at the start of the game. Or extra 4, possibly, actually. Which are very, very effective. I love having throwing knives. I love using them. This Jason has an extra 4. Meaning you'll be able to hobble down counselors and then they'll be limping away and you can easily shift up to them. So these fast characters, goodbye, you're going to be impaired because of this Jason. This Jason has some good things about him, but once again has bad things. I think you can still beat him. He's a very beatable Jason, but overall, he does have some very nice strengths. Coming in at the number 5 spot on this list is Part 3 Jason. Now this Jason, I feel, is always discredited for being a bad Jason, mainly because he is a beginner Jason. You unlock this Jason when you start the game, and because you are just starting the game, lots of low-level and inexperienced players use this Jason. So he gets kind of a bad rap for being the nothing low-level Jason because everyone who's inexperienced plays him. Now, this, on the other hand, is not true. I think very experienced Jasons can play extremely well with this Jason, and he is extremely hard to come across. I think he's probably the most defensive Jason. None of his stats really hinder him. None of his strengths really improve him or take him to a whole new level. He's just an average Jason. However, this works extremely well in his favor. He's weak. Now let's get into his stats, actually. His weaknesses include minus stalk. Minus stalk is not a bad thing to have. I mean, I like stalk personally, but it doesn't hinder your game style. It doesn't hinder your movement. You still can move around the map with ease. Another issue that he is sense. He has bad sense. This is not a big problem. I mean, it's good to have a little sense, but having minus sense really does not impact you too much. You can still find them fairly easily. You're just not going to have it for long durations. And his final weakness is stun resistance. Stun resistance really does not affect your game style or game whatsoever. You only feel it when you get hit by a shotgun. That's the only time you really like, I've been here for ages, let me move. But other than that, it's a good weakness to have. His strengths, he has good grip strength. This is a crap strength to have in my opinion. You don't need grip strength at all. It just means that they're not going to break free if you pick them up. Another strength he has is he can run. I love running Jasons. He's a good one to pick because of this. If you like that extra pressure on chasing down counselors. He also has weapon strength. Weapon strength tied in with running is good. It's good on Part 4, but Part 4 has a lot of weaknesses. With Part 3, his weaknesses are fine, meaning he's a good defensive Jason, and if you're in a hurry, just slash them down. Because you have weapon strength, you can just hit them a couple of times and they're dead. It's fine. Part 3, like I said, is very defensive, got 5 traps, got nice knives, got good morph, average shift, weapon strength. He's quite an average Jason, but this works extremely well if you are experienced. So because of that, I think this Jason is deserving of the 5th spot. Coming in at the number 4 spot is Part 2 Jason. Now this Jason is not very talked about. I think he's a very, very underrated Jason. I think he was a lot better at the start of the game, but he's still extremely good now. His weaknesses are not very good, but I think his strengths really help define him as a Jason. He's very unique. His weaknesses include minus defense. Minus defense, once again, just means the hits from any weapons or damage that you're taking will do a little bit more. Potentially getting the mask off, but it's not horrible to have. Another weakness that he has is minus shift. Minus shift is not good. Is not good to have, but it's definitely countered by one of the strengths that he has. Another weakness that he has is minus water speed. This is a bad one to have, especially if they get the boat done. If they get the boat done, you just gotta hope that you have a lucky morph and you can catch them. Because your speed, once again, like Part 4's, is extremely slow. If they get that started, you're in trouble. His strengths are very good. They include increased morph. This really helps this Jason a lot. Having bad shift is not good to have, but having fast morph means you can instantly teleport across the map very, very quickly. Another strength that he has is increased traps. Increased traps with increased morph is very, very good. It is almost overpowered with the fact that how fast you can trap things. You have 2 additional traps, plus you have an increased more free charge time. You can get across any map with ease. Set up your traps, and pretty much the counselors are done. There's no way they can escape, because if they set off one of your traps, bam, your morph is already regenerated. You can go back, kill them, put down another trap, so the next counselor that comes along will also get trapped. Very, very difficult to play against, especially if there's two cars and a phone on the map. You're in trouble because you know straight away that there are two traps on the phone, two traps on both cars, and then he has an extra trap as well, so if you sabotage one, he's right there. Now, there is flaws with this Jason. I find once you get something started, say if you get the car done, if you get the boat done, or if you get the phone done, he is screwed. It is very, very hard for this Jason to catch up to you because he has bad shift. Because his shift is so slow and his water speed is so slow, he has to rely greatly on morph. And if he misses with the morph, you're in the clear, you can drive out safely or you can boat escape safely. Once you untrap and get in the vehicle, this Jason is extremely easy to escape from. However, getting them started and getting them all fixed in the first place is a different story. It's very unlikely for this to happen, which makes him such a strong Jason. He's very hard, very, very hard to escape from. Coming in at the number 3 spot, just breaching the top 3, is Part 8 Jason. Now, Part 8 was very, very hard to place between either being this spot or the number 2 spot, in my opinion. He is very, very good. He's stood the test of time. He's been good since day one in this game, and he's still extremely good to this day. And I think that it's mainly due to the fact that none of his weaknesses affect him, and his strengths just make him extremely, extremely deadly, extremely threatening, and extremely hard to escape from. Now, his weaknesses will start with decreased in sense. Having a decreased sense, not a big deal. It's actually a nice one to have because there's nothing. You can easily detect counselors with the fact that they run around so much and they get scared. So having minus sense is not a big issue. Another weakness he has is minus grip strength. This is probably one of the best weaknesses you can have because it's absolutely not important at all. You pick them up, you either use one of your quills, you either use a quick kill that you have, or you just slash them down or do whatever you want. You know, it's not a bad one to have whatsoever. His other weakness, which I think is his worst weakness, is the ability that he cannot run. Once again, it just means that you're not going to be able to chase down counselors as much. Bugsy and Vanessa could run you around a table for a large amount of time. However, if you're smart and use this Jason well, you will avoid that situation from ever happening. His strengths include increase stalk. Now, once again, I really, really like stalk. I think it's an underrated ability. You can set traps, make them think that you're not there when you really are, get an easy kill from making them, and make them look silly, which is always a good thing. Yeah, Part 8 has stalk. He also has an increase in destruction. Destruction is a really good ability. It was good on Part 4, but Part 4's weaknesses hold him back. For this Jason, his weaknesses are next to nothing. So he is a really good Jason, plus he has destruction, meaning he is going to apply so much pressure on you, especially at the start, that you're going to freak out and do something stupid like jump out the window right into his arms. He's a very, very good Jason because of that. That's mainly the reason why he's so extremely good. His other strength that he has is increased water speed. Water speed is not the best as a strength, I would say. It's really mediocre. If there's a boat, sure, you're going to catch it, but who on earth uses boats? It's very rare to see someone try to escape on the boat. And if you're Part 8 Jason, most people know you're good at water speed, so they're not going to take the boat anyway. So this Jason definitely has a bad strength there. However, his ability for destruction is just so damn good that he will get you at the start of the game. Now, it was very close between this Jason and the next Jason. I honestly prefer the next Jason just because of my playstyle, and I also think that many people can play him no matter what. Now, in the number 2 spot is Part 5 Jason. Part 5 Jason, I think, is really good because his weaknesses do not add any hindrances to his game style, and his strengths really push him above as both a defensive Jason and an extremely aggressive Jason. Now, his weaknesses include minus defense, meaning hits and damage that he will receive will be a little bit more. It will do a little bit more damage, meaning the mask could come off, but not that bad. He also has stun resistance as a weakness. This is not an issue at all. You don't really feel it unless you get shot. And then his final weakness is grip strength, which is a really good weakness to have because it does absolutely nothing. Just kill them quickly and you won't even notice it. His strengths include increased stalk, meaning you'll have that ability for longer and your recharge time will be increased. This is great for trapping counselors and also killing and moving around the map without them being aware of where you are. Also, another strength that he has is increased throwing knives. He starts with an additional 4, which just make him a lot more lethal and a lot more deadlier. Quite an offensive Jason because of this. Also, he can run, constantly applying pressure. You can chase down Bugsies and Vanesses all day, run down their stamina while also throwing knives at them, which really, really hurts. Will make them like trip up and hobble in no time at all. Overall, I think this Jason is extremely good. He has great defensive capabilities, has 5 traps, good morph, good shift, and he also has extremely good offensive capabilities. He can run and he has throwing knives. I think this Jason is slightly better than Part 8, only just, mainly because of the fact that he is very good offensively, but I still think that Savini Jason is number 1 in this game. Now, coming into the number 1 spot, a lot of people probably figured this would be in the number 1 spot, is Savini Jason. Now, Savini Jason is exclusive to people that backed the game at the start of its launch, so not everyone has him. I don't have him. Because of this factor, I can't speak of what you can do when you play as him, but I have experienced him several times, and what can I say apart from he is deadly. He is the literal meaning of death. You start the lobby with him, you are automatically in trouble from the get-go. Now, his weaknesses are he has decreased grip strength. This is probably the best weakness in the game. We discussed it with Part 5. You do not need grip strength. Just pick them up, kill them quickly. You will not notice it. Another weakness that he has is he cannot run. Now, this is usually an issue. I do prefer running Jasons. However, he has an increased strength as part of his strengths. Increased shift, sorry. And his final weakness is water speed. So this is really ideally the way you want to escape. If you encounter him, you use the boat. However, he is so quick and so deadly that by the time you find the parts, everyone else will be dead and you'll be the last one standing. His strengths include weapon strength. This just means he will hit you down. When he hits you with his weapon, he'll do more damage, so it's a good one to have, but it's not overly necessary. Another one that he has is increased shift, meaning his shift is very, very fast, recharges insanely quickly. Don't need to worry about the fact he cannot run. He is that fast, he will catch up to you with no time at all, with very ease, kill you no matter what, no matter how much stam you have. And his final strength is destruction. So he has destruction like Part 8 and Part 4. He destroys doors and walls in 3-2 hits maximum, and it's just an insanely good ability to have. Essentially, Savini Jason is Part 8 on a whole new level, like Part 8 on steroids. Therefore, I think he doesn't have horrible weaknesses, and his strengths are probably the best you've ever seen in this game. So because of this factor, he is extremely hard to come across. You probably will not see him very, very often at all, but when you do see him, prepare to be destroyed. He is that good as Jason that when you get into a lobby with one, you better be scared and you better pray it's not him. So anyway, that's why Savini Jason is number 1 in this game. I don't think anyone could top him. Part 5 is good, but definitely Savini has offensive capabilities that Part 5 and Part 8 combined do not have. So that is why Savini is number 1, sorry. Anyway, this is the ranking video. I hope you enjoy. If there's anything you disagree with me, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm sure a lot of people do have different ideas of what Jasons are good and which are not so good. Personally, I think that my list is fairly accurate. I think that there may be you could change up some positions, like Part 8 could be well deserving of a higher spot than Part 5, but that's my opinion. Also think that some Jasons like Part 4 and Part 7 and Part 9 could be mixed around. I think those are definitely the worst 3, but in different orders it could be. So please let me know what you think in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you learned something new about each Jason of this game. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please just comment down below, like, whatever you want to do. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.